Good evening. Welcome to a slightly shorter programme because of England's match against Hungary here on ITV later. And first tonight, the daughter of a Sunderland woman who died of suspected COVID says a report into the government's handling of the pandemic should have been more robust. Deborah Doyle from the COVID-19 Bereaved Families for Justice group says the Commons Committee report is a slap in the face of the families who weren't consulted. The report by cross-party MPs found a series of government failings, but also praised the vaccine rollouts. Chris Jepson reports.
She was just absolutely cracking. She was fantastic sense of humour, very open, very funny, loving, very kind woman. Yeah, she was my best friend and I miss her.
Losing Sylvia Griffiths to COVID last year has taken its toll on daughter Deborah. Her grief today compounded by the findings of a Commons Committee report into the government's handling of the pandemic.
It just confirms what the group members have experienced, but it's a slap in the face for us because we weren't consulted on that. And the bereaved families have the lived experience. We can kind of say to the government and the MPs what went wrong, and I think that's really important. The findings will be far more relevant if they speak to bereaved families.
The report found delays in locking down was one of the most important public health failures in history. Thousands of care home deaths could have been prevented. There was an unacceptably high death rate for black and ethnic minority people, and the test and trace system was slow and chaotic. The report did praise the vaccine rollout and introduction of new drugs, but it was critical of the government for COVID-positive hospital patients being discharged into care homes. 12
people died in my mum's care home, and there was a capacity of 48 residents. So it's just not only about my mum, it's about other families, about how the staff had to cope with that, with the lack of PPE and poor messaging, and also the fact that they were putting infected patients into care homes. So these people were sitting ducks.
The government today falling short of apologising for its role in the pandemic.
We're sorry for the suffering that the country suffered. We acted throughout on the basis of the scientific advice. We moved quickly to protect the NHS from the surge that we saw in countries such as Italy, and we saved lives in particular through the fast deployment of the vaccine programme.
Labour says the government lacks accountability.
Apologise. I'm quite surprised today that the government hasn't found it within themselves to just go out and apologise to the families, the bereaved families, and bring forward that public inquiry just as quickly as possible.
That inquiry can't come soon enough for Deborah, who just wants answers as to why her mum was taken away so soon. Chris Jepson, ITV News, Sunderland.
Our political correspondent Tom Sheldrick is live for us at Westminster now. Tom, does this report say very much about how our region has experienced the pandemic in particular?
Ian, it is a pretty national take, with only passing reference to the fact that mortality rates from coronavirus have been much higher in deprived areas. It does look in detail, though, at the so-called local lockdowns that we were going through around this time last year. You'll remember that the North East and at certain points particular council areas were under different rules because of different COVID rates. This report says that system was unsatisfactory. It says the restrictions were not anywhere near watertight enough to prevent infection spreading, and it says that approach felt inconsistent for different areas, undermining the broad national consent around the rules which had been in place previously.
OK, Tom, thank you very much. Unemployment continues to fall in the North East. New figures from the ONS showed 66,000 people in our region, that's 5.2%, were out of work between June and August. That's down from 5.8% in the previous 3 months. The North East still has the UK's second highest unemployment rate, behind London. The government has been urged to give an update on its plans for the Novavax vaccine. The vaccine will be produced by Fujifilm on Teesside, but hasn't yet been approved. Stockton North MP Alex Cunningham said people, including the workforce, need to know when or if it will be approved and whether the jobs and investment promised can be safeguarded. The government says the decision to authorise a vaccine is made by the regulator, the MHRA. Meanwhile, health bosses in Newcastle are urging parents to encourage their children to get vaccinated. Latest figures show a gap between the richest and poorest parts of the city. Only 15% of children aged 12 to 15 in the most deprived areas have received a COVID-19 jab. That's compared to 82% in more affluent areas. A couple from Afghanistan have spoken of the generous welcome they have received since arriving in North Yorkshire as refugees 3 weeks ago. They were evacuated from Afghanistan by British forces after the Taliban took control in August. We are concealing their identities to protect their families who are still in the country. Tom Barton has their story.
3 weeks ago, Ahmed, Mariam and their 2 daughters had never seen the sea. Now they're living in a hotel in Scarborough, safe from Taliban forces who would have targeted them for their work. Ahmed is a former translator for British forces in Helmand province, Mariam is the female head of a charity.
If we haven't been evacuated to UK, we will got killed by Taliban. Because they know that my wife was working for German, I was working for British forces.
The second day, they come to my door, my own door, and asked about us. Our neighbor said that they are live here. They go on.
A traumatic journey took the family from the north of Afghanistan to Kabul, arriving in the city just 20 minutes before the Taliban took over. Working through the crowds, they were eventually able to make contact with British officials and were offered a place on a military transport plane. Do you feel lucky to have made it to the airport, to have made it onto that flight?
Yes, we were lucky, and it was a good chance for us. That we got this chance, that we reached to the airport gate, to the aircraft gate, and we were the lucky from among all those people that we reached.
And that moment that you were on a plane and it was taking off from Kabul airport, how did that feel?
We are feeling very well. Yeah, we are in a safe place.
When I fly on the airplane, I have a breath. Oh my God, now I'm safe and I will not be killed by Taliban anymore. And that was really, really, really brilliant for me.
You've been in Scarborough now for a few weeks. How have you found the welcome from the Yorkshire folk here in Scarborough?
I really found the people the citizens of this town, they are really kind people. They are always welcome us, try to help us. Single person, everybody that see us and talk with us, ask us that if you need anything, if you need help, we are ready to help.
You're living in a hotel, you don't know how long you're going to be there, you don't know where you're going to go next. How difficult is it living with that degree of uncertainty?
We know that the governor is busy with accommodation to prepare accommodation for a lot of people that come from Afghanistan. I'm pregnant and I hope that I deliver my child to my accommodation, my own accommodation.
The couple's biggest concern right now, though, is for their parents, their brothers and their sisters who are still in Afghanistan and coming under daily threats from Taliban fighters.
Because they're always afraid and they're waiting for something coming, someone come and knock the door or did something. They ask from our young sister to get married with Taliban, because why your families work for help the foreign forces and now you have to pay their punishment. And I don't want my sister to get married with Taliban.
As they settle into life in a new country, this young couple are looking ahead to what they can contribute to the UK as they bring their children up in the place they now call home. Tom Barton, ITV News, Scarborough.
The Newcastle United Foundation, the club's charity, launched a new campaign from the roof of its newly built city centre building today. Youngsters gathered on the rooftop pitch in the shadow of St James's Park to celebrate the start of new futures supporting 11 to 16-year-olds in STEM subjects. The club's new owners have already expressed support for the charity's work.
It's great when the whole community comes together, and obviously to have backing like, hopefully the club has now and moving forward, I think it's only going to spell, positive things for the Newcastle United Foundation, but also for the North East. So yeah, really excited about that, and pleased to be here and to see how well construction's going.
We met with the owners already last Friday, and they're hugely ambitious for the community and the foundation. We still need to agree what that ambition is, but clearly they want to support the community, and events like this today hopefully demonstrates our commitment to the region and the type of innovative work that the foundation can deliver.
Now, among the list of events cancelled by COVID was Durham's Light Festival Lumiere. Next month, though, it'll be back, attracting hundreds of thousands of visitors to the city and beyond. Here's Sarah Kelly.
Bright, beautiful, brilliant. It's the UK's biggest festival of light. Called off due to COVID last year, organisers have faced plenty of challenges getting it back on. But next month, the skies around Durham will light up for the Lumiere Festival once again.
We've changed our plans numerous times depending on levels of lockdown and anticipated restrictions. But what has never changed is the commitment of the artists to create this amazing work that transforms places that people are familiar with, or like here, maybe less familiar with.
This year there will be new works on show, specially commissioned for the festival, set for the first time in locations away from the city of Durham. Lighting up Finkel Priory is Carrie Collar.
I hope that they will experience calmness and peace. So it will be very ambient style, very slow tempo, very calming down. I hope that they will stop and enjoy. This will take a while. I use really slow tempo on that. So if you are just walking through, you don't get the experience. You have to stop and be there.
For the council, welcoming people back to the festival is an important moment.
All of these amazing assets which we have for people to enjoy in a way that they've never seen before. So I think this year we will see people come out who've never been before.
With Durham shortlisted last week for the UK's City of Culture 2025, there will be hopes that this landmark event will show just what the city and the county is capable of. Sarah Kelly, ITV News.
Wonderful weather time. Here's Emma.
Bringing you blue skies and sunshine. TUI sponsors ITV Tyne Tees weather.
Hello there, very good evening to you. Well, your shots, these beautiful autumnal colours are really putting a smile on our face here in the office, so thank you, keep them coming. As we move through the next few days, it looks like it's going to be cloudy but mostly dry, but there will be some spells of rain around at times, and I'll show you why. So high pressure is generally in charge, but it's just a little bit too far to the southwest of the British Isles to keep us completely dry, so we've got some frontal systems just milling around the edge of that, and that'll let some light rain or drizzle through at times. Today was no exception, certainly this morning, but things did improve through the afternoon, and it should be a dry, cloudy evening and staying dry and cloudy overnight as well, with some mist and fog forming over the Pennines there. A really thick layer of cloud which will insulate us. Temperatures very similar to last night's values, into double figures, but actually a little bit cooler out in the countryside. Tomorrow it's going to take a while for that low cloud and mist to lift and break, but break it will. It's an improving situation through the day. It's a much better day than it was today. Might be a spot of light rain and drizzle in the morning there, but dry through the afternoon. Good spells of sunshine reflecting in our temperatures, really feeling very fine. Cloudier and breezier on Thursday, brighter and cooler on Friday. Bye-bye.
TUI sponsors ITV Tyne Tees weather.
The national news is next. Enjoy the football. I'll be back at 10:30. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.